Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for being here, for bringing your presence into this room. And I mean that quite literally. To be present, to be conscious, is no trivial matter. It is the most fundamental act of all, to be. Yet it is not simply to be in the passive sense of a rock or a chair. No, we are condemned to be free. This is the peculiar situation of the human being. We exist, and then we define ourselves. You did not ask to be born. I did not ask to be born. Yet here we are. And now that we are here, the responsibility is ours, entirely. Let us begin with a principle that may sound simple, but has radical implications. Existence precedes essence. What do I mean? Consider a knife. It is made with a purpose. Its essence, its meaning, is determined before it is made. A knife is created to cut. Its being is shaped by a design. But the human being is different. We are not created with a blueprint. There is no divine craftsman who carved us into meaning before we appeared. We first exist, and only afterward do we define ourselves. We are, first of all, a presence in the world, and it is only through our actions, our choices, that we become something. There is no fixed human nature, no God-given soul that determines our purpose. If God does not exist, and I do not say this to offend, but to affirm, then man is nothing else but that which he makes of himself. Do you understand what this means? It means there are no excuses. It means we cannot hide behind the idea of fate, or psychology, or society. You are what you do. You are what you choose. And so, existentialism places upon the shoulders of each human being a terrifying freedom and an immense responsibility. In Being and Nothingness, I attempted to analyze what it means to be conscious. Consciousness, I said, is not a thing. It is not a box that contains ideas. It is a movement. It is a negation. It is that which is not the world, but always aware of the world. Consciousness is a nothingness at the heart of being. Let me explain. You are sitting here, listening to me, but at the same time, you are aware that you could be elsewhere. You could be walking in the streets, making love, or leaping into the river. That possibility, what you are not, is always present in your being. You are not simply what you are. You are what you are not yet, and what you refuse to be. This is the root of human freedom. You are not stuck. You are not determined. You are not a finished product. You are a project, always in the making. But this freedom is not easy. In fact, it is nausea-inducing. To realize that you are the sole author of your life, without excuses, without safety nets, that is enough to make one sick. And yet, that is your condition. You are not a thing. You are not an object. You are a nothingness, haunted by what you could become. And the choices you make, these become your identity. Now, what do most people do when confronted with this terrifying freedom? They flee. They lie to themselves. They take refuge in what I call bad faith. Bad faith is not mere deception. It is self-deception. It is pretending that you are not free, that your role in life is fixed, that your situation defines you. Think of the waiter who performs his job as if he is a waiter, as if that is all he is. He moves with exaggerated precision, speaks with a tone he has learned. He forgets that being a waiter is a role he plays, not a being he is. Or the woman on a date, who ignores the touch of the hand upon hers, delays any decision, telling herself that nothing is happening yet, that she can keep her freedom and yet avoid commitment. These are examples of people lying to themselves. They refuse to own their freedom. They act as though they are things, fixed, determined, passive. But the truth is, they are choosing to flee from choice. Bad faith is everywhere. In religion, in marriage, in politics, even in intellectual life. It is the refusal to admit that you are the source of meaning. It is the attempt to be an object when you are in fact a subject. But the lie does not hold. You know you are free, and so you are condemned to carry that burden. Freedom, I have said, is not a luxury. It is your condition. But this freedom comes with anguish. Anguish because you must choose without any guarantee. You must act without certainty. There is no God to give you a rule. No external moral law carved in stone. You must invent the good, and in doing so, you invent it not just for yourself, but for all humanity. For when you choose, you are saying that your action is good, not only for you, but for others. Your action becomes a mirror of your ideal for all people. This is why existentialism is not a form of nihilism. We do not say anything goes. On the contrary, everything matters. Every action defines you, and in defining you, proposes a vision of what humanity should be. You cannot hide behind determinism. You cannot say, "It is society's fault," or "It is my upbringing." You cannot excuse yourself by saying others do worse. No, you chose, and therefore you are responsible. Responsibility, you see, is not something imposed upon us from above. It is the consequence of our freedom. You are the legislator of yourself, and thus you are accountable. This is the true dignity of man. Not that he is a rational animal, not that he has a soul, but that he is free, and must create his values, his meaning, his purpose, from nothing. So what are we to do? We must live authentically. That is to say, we must live in the full awareness of our freedom and our responsibility. We must cease to lie to ourselves. We must act, not as puppets of history or religion or biology, but as creators of ourselves. To be authentic is not to follow a code. It is to choose and to accept the weight of that choice. It is to stand naked in the world, with no excuses, and to say, "I am what I make of myself." This does not mean we retreat into solitude. On the contrary, the other is essential to our freedom. It is in the eyes of the other that we are seen, sometimes reduced, sometimes liberated. And it is in solidarity with others that we struggle to build a world. Existentialism is a humanism because it affirms the power and dignity of the human person, not given, but earned, not inherited, but built, not static, but ever in motion. You are free. You are responsible. You are alone, and yet, in your solitude, you carry all of humanity. So live, choose, act, and make yourself worthy of the freedom you did not ask for, but which is now irrevocably yours. Thank you.
Do you feel like responsibilities hold you back from your freedom? What do you think about your existence? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.